As I thought. There's no substitute for experience, proceeded Gavin. What? You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave. For you, that is. So he's digging his own grave. Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes? But how did this witness know that? Unless he works there. It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Ah. Okay. Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? I like this, oh my gosh! Yeah, just listening to music, that's why I stopped talking there. Order! Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what? I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Val Grimari, has testified that the IV liquid was yellow because... It doesn't look yellow. He's seen it before he knew the IV liquid's color. He's seen it before, I think. From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he's seen it before. But not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear, colorless bag. I suppose he would have had to, but I'm still not clear as to what all this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I find nothing, so what if he knew the IV liquid's color? Really getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin. I remember what it was. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. Well, wait, I know an hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right? Well, yeah, but as much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, the IV liquid enters the patient's body, at which point, like magic, it disappears. Or magic. Magic. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? Because, yeah, you can't really fill an hourglass. You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, right? You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. Now, wait! I said wait! How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. Really? I usually like spill. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I, at least, would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag. You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I'm tired of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth? Val Grimari, I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in the life of crime. Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props. Other props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was the small syringe. Insulin shots, yeah, has been washed and shows no signs of use. The victim's syringe is the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick. Not really a trick, but okay. And easy enough for an amateur to use. What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Ooh. Well, Valentine, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes a perfect clock. The one that you could manipulate at will. Alec. I guess I got blah blah blah. So much magic. I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Pastor Gavin. Really? I'm afraid that while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven, and that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much needed investigation work. Yeah, because we didn't do any. I see there are no objections. Quarters of... Seriously? Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet all out from under you. In a way you never ever expected. Why do I have to get a bad feeling about this? You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used a syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid, but there is no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's admitting it? You know this case is not gonna end well, right? Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I hoped. This I admit, after all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much? You have something in mind, Pastor Gavin? Proof, Air Judge. I have another way to prove my case. With evidence, no less. What's this? This is the victim Magnifico Amari's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magnifico began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end, quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 o'clock p.m. Let's read it, shall we? Tonight's IV is it, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. The journal may end here, or it may go on, but not long. Okay, I can't read the rest. This does appear to have been written before his death. The court accepts this into evidence. Okay. Read the very last page part with particular care that I haven't been able to read until now. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. Of course, by his. He refers to our defendant, Zach Amari. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here, or it may go on. It may go on. Magnifico Amari intended to write again. That is, if Zach Amari didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends. Because Magnifico's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Amari. Order, order, order! Prosecutor Gavin! Okay, let me check the court record. Open the book, please. I want to open the book. This is the last page. The diary ends here. Huh? Huh? What's this? It looks like a page was ripped out. Well now, isn't that interesting? Dang it, we can't read. Whatever. Close enough. I want to stop 10 minutes after administration began. 3 minutes required of this, and administer full IV for the amount remaining. IV stopped 10 minutes after administration began. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, we can check the profiles. Val is 37. So much younger. And Dick Gumshoe is 32. And Dick Gumshoe's name is from... Both Dick and Gumshoe are named of detectives and stuff. Cecil Clavier is actually 17. And then Trucy is at 8 years old. Her last name was Enigmar. There's my Mari died 67. His real name is Shady Enigmar. His stage name is Agamar. It makes sense. Anyway, I gotta stop doing this. Are you certain that Manfinger wrote this? There's no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Manfred did intend to continue his diary. Yet, if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zachary. Well, how do you like me now, Airite? How do you like them apples? Still too green for your tastes, Why do I have a bad feeling about this? He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his precious evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking, but put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for the case. The diary has a sixth witness. The trial is over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Okay. Either way, the trial will end badly, so I might as well do the thing that you're supposed to be doing. I don't want to do this. It always makes me sad when I do this. Okay. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. So, I can't do anything else. I had to do this because the game makes me... Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown the court. Which would be another thing he could have done, but he said no. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. I can just show him the ripped part of the page. But, nope. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... the mysterious paper received just before the trial. I really don't want to do this, but oh well, I'll have to. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that the page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I had to notice that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. Yeah. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Holy God, I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnifique Mari. That's the defense's position. But wait, let me see that. What in Sam Hill? It seems Fate's... What? Fate's... Look? Fate's... What is that? Fate's clock will make me wait a little longer. At least only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell, Magnifique Mari. Wow, this is the continuation of the victim's diary.